We're back. Underdog Daily here with the Badge Bros. Kind of funny moment behind closed doors. Right there, Nez and I showed up wearing the same shirt. So I just quickly ran to the closet and grabbed the first thing that I saw. And the first thing that I saw was Baltimore Ravens Marquise Hollywood Brown jersey that I was going to whip out yesterday when I jumped on with Tom and Tyler there for the Fantasy Sanctuary. And it just happened to be like sitting right on top because of the ship chasing guys were talking about it the other day, and I was like, I sent out a little tweet with it, and it was just sitting in my closet, so I just grabbed it. First thing I saw. But we'll talk some football today. We got a brand new puppy contest in there. Shout out to the good people at Underdog. They adjusted the tiles on the front there, so all of the football contests are now within the NFL tab there. I know some people were looking for eliminator and weekly winners and all that sort of thing. Now they're all amalgamated in one spot there. We crowned a dance champion last night. Our guy Best Ball Viper scooped the largest MLB slate we've ever had by duping himself to take it down. Entirely alpha move there. And then we got the push notifications back, Nez. We are back to being able to multi-draft on our phone in peace here because we got the on-the-clock notifications back.
Huge deal. Very, very, very big deal. So many nice updates today, that all are, on the heels of the Puppy 2, which is so awesome. So things are we're back like we never left. It's a great day. It's a great day to be logged in and tapped in.
Absolutely, man. NBA Finals last night. I threw a tongue-in-cheek joke in the Discord there that even when Jason Tatum wins, he still does not win. The poor guy. I mean, for my money, Nez, he deserved Finals MVP. He played his ass off last night. He's the first player in NBA history. I mean, this would happen to Jason Tatum. He's the first player in NBA history to lead his team in points, rebounds, and assists in the finals and not receive Finals MVP.
Wow. I wonder what his player efficiency rating was, because Jaylen Brown had the lowest player efficiency rating of any Finals MVP since '91. I saw even lower than Andre Iguodala, the infamous.
I forgot about the Iguodala one until you said that.
2015. Yeah. So pretty nuts. It cracks me up, man, because like on one hand, like I am in the group of people who are actively rooting against Boston, and then on the other hand, after doing that, I get like annoyed by Boston people being like, oh, no one believed in us, everyone counted us out. Like, you guys have won more championships across your city's sports than any other, than like damn near the entire country combined, which obviously the math does not math there, but it just cracks me up. So go ahead, you guys enjoy yourselves. You won your championship. Very, very fine people on both sides here.
They were legitimately the best team wire to wire of the postseason. Like, I mean, of the regular season as well. Like their off-season acquisitions, the Drew Holiday one, the Zinger move, like they just aged like wine, and they were pieces that you absolutely needed, and they were by far the deepest team pushing through the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question they are a complete team, and it made sense that they won. They were like very, very much the favorites, and I have no problem when the favorites win a championship. I think that is probably easier to stomach than, unless it's like my team or a team that I just feel is undervalued by markets, like a team like that winning. I have no problem when the favorites win, because then I don't know. I mean, say what you will about the playoffs and the format of them, but it feels fine when a favorite wins.
Well, I mean, I think what you were long-windedly stating there is that you're a chalk donk, and when the best plays are in fact the best plays, it rewards you for your process.
There's a time and place. But when it comes for crowning a champion, yes, I think you can say that.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, man. Shout out to Drew Holiday, 2-time champion. That was sick. Back to back there for him. Or back to back?
No, they won because the Nuggets won.
One, yeah.
But that was 21, I think, that they won when they crowned like 3 champions in the span of like a calendar year.
Right, yeah, the whole, like, COVID window,
Right.
whatever. Actually, that's a funny little segue to our champion here for the dance. I was not in the dance final here. This is S. Blum 2711 and former World Series of Poker champion 2017. So guy wins 8 million bucks and still comes over to the platform of the people to take our 50K, Nez.
8 million he
Yeah.
has at one point. Holy shit, man.
I mean, I don't know how much
maybe I should
equities.
learn how to play a hand to hold him. I don't know. Sounds like good money.
You just gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them, buddy, and you'll be fine.
Is it important to know when to walk away as well?
Sometimes to run.
And most importantly, you don't count your okay.
Yeah, very interesting team here. So a Boston team that had Tatum, no Brown, but was able to get the Luka Kyrie stack with it. So must have been drafted a little bit on the earlier side of things, I think, to be able to get, because as Dallas kind of like fortified their positioning to avoid that play-in tournament stuff and move all the way up to 5th, I guess, to play a depleted Clippers team there. It was harder to obtain because people on the right-hand side of the board would do the Luka plus Kyrie thing in the first round or first and third round. They do like Jalen, Luka, Kyrie on the way back or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Very well constructed team here. Very intelligent. This is kind of like what you want to see win in this contest, to be like pat on the back for everybody's process.
Right, yeah, we all win when this team wins. We all win. Like, yeah, we would have built this too. Nice. I think it's cool that it didn't chop. It felt like baseball and NBA. I mean, hell, even NFL to an extent. Like, it felt like it was like super hard to have a solo shipper in these playoff contests, and this lineup did it. That's pretty sweet. I don't think it gets there without the Pacers. Obviously, they played a very big part, I believe, in him getting to the finals. So shout out to that, because the Pacers didn't feel fun to tack on for me personally.
Yeah, what the Pacers did for this team is what everybody wanted Cleveland or the Magic to do for their iterations of this build.
Right. Yeah, you just had to do it early enough, to have the foresight to say, yeah, these are like very much like highly contributable pieces. And also, I think I don't know how many people saw the Miles Turner run that we did see when in the playoffs. I mean, Miles Turner was a monster for quite a few games there, which really
Pascal
helped.
For like,
and Pascal for sure, which was like super necessary to beat out those Jokic teams, because like Jokic was just so hard to get past. Like, he was a boon for so many teams that didn't have Nuggets builds. Well, it was like, how do you beat these Jokic teams? Well, this is obviously one way to do that.
Yeah, there you go. That's basically what Nick was alluding to in the chat there, right? It's like, it's so hard to get Tatum through. And if you were able to get Tatum through, and it's like, yeah, LOL, pure skill, right? Like, that, some of that's pod variance, some of that's whatever. But if you were able to find that Miles Turner game, to find that early Pascal, that's how you did push him through. Because what other wings could push Tatum through when they were sweeping series, right? Like, Pascal played a huge role in that.
Yeah, and having Luka, drafting early enough to get the Luka paired with Tatum, obviously extremely important too. I mean, shout out to this lineup. I enjoy a solo shipper.
Yeah. The reason I said the funny thing about like COVID or whatever is, like, I was like, I just want to click around YouTube this morning and make sure that this is like Scott Bloomstein. And I was like, I clicked on like a video of an interview with him or whatever, and it's got like 30 views or something like this on YouTube, and this guy's all chipper and stuff to interview him. And then like the very first question is like, let's talk about the pandemic and how you're dealing with it. And I was like, get that shit out of my life. Nope. Not going back. Not going back, buddy. Absolutely not.
No way. No way can any content surrounding that get that all the way out of my fucking face.
Yeah, delete that section of life from history. I was like, this is the last thing in the world I want to do is listen to an interview from the past of like whatever. I just wanted to get to know the guy a little bit to see if he was like talking about it like 4 years ago, to be like, yeah, man, I'm really into fantasy sports as well as poker, or I blah blah blah. So
is he on? He's not on Twitter or anything?
I think he is, but I've never interacted with him.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, awesome stuff there. I'm getting a kick out of what Chipsy's saying in the chat here, that like looking for the Peyton Pritchard, looking for the Xavier Tillman. I mean, that just speaks to like the difference between the hoops contest and the NBA, even though we think we're playing the same game, or even the puck one. Like we'll have a Zamboni winner potentially as early as tonight if the series keeps doing what they've been doing in both the puck and the NBA, following one another, parallels. Uncanny right now. If we get ourselves a Florida 4-1 game tonight where they win at home and they're up like 2-0 after the first period, these things will be, the series will be identical through and through. But yeah, it's very funny to see that like those auxiliary components. Like I was cracking up last night. Peyton Pritchard hit another half court shot to end a half there, and there's been so much talk. There's been so much talk about, hey, why bring in that lineup at that time? And this is why, right? Like it's kind of like a set play to get him that look or whatever. And I was killing myself. I was like, if that bucket ends up being like the mattering bucket in the dance, because like they're playing a 4v4 and someone needs that extra like 4 points from Peyton Pritchard,
that'd be amazing.
Oh my God, it would have been hilarious.
It would have been nuts.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, long time Tyler referring to last night, our show, where I was gonna bust out this jersey I was saying to the emo cowboy, where we took Hollywood Brown in honor of you, Nez, because I don't take a ton of Hollywood Brown there. And we got to give a shout out to Best Ball Viper. We gave you a little shout off the top there, bud, but good to see you hanging out in here. We'll talk a little bit about that winning lineup that you had as we jump in to the baseball streets. Nez, anything else you want to say on the hoops front? Anything else you want to say about the playoffs, the playoff contest, anything there?
No, just very much looking forward to next hoop season. It was a lot of fun, jamming with everybody, getting in 150 damn near every night. I'm excited to see what the prize pools can get to next season. And yeah, those hoops nights are a lot of fun. So looking forward to hoops picking back up.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got Double Dribble up in the lobby right now. We will do something on that shortly. Obviously, kind of wait for this playoff stuff to wind down a little bit. And then when we're kind of in the dog days of summer here, we'll mix that in for sure. But if you guys want to do something alongside it, I'm hesitant to invite Chip back because I don't see a badge beside his name right now. That I don't know what happened there. But I think maybe we'll invite Nick. Nick could be a potential guy. Maybe Mike Zakarian. Someone wants to come on. I don't know. Yeah, Chip, if you want to hit us up too, if you want to, we could potentially do some Double Dribble stuff in the future there. I'd love to pick the brains of the people that have been in the streets nice and early here.
Yeah. There's a lot of ball knowers that we need on. I need to leech off their alpha. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's jump in here next. Looking at last night's baseball slate, it was even when Coors goes north, Coors still doesn't matter. Shout out to Best Ball Viper here. He goes with the 4 stack. He swaps to DJ Stewart, which was a sweet alpha move, knowing that he was probably loading up Mets stacks there and got no Starling Marte. So he swaps to DJ Stewart. He does a 4-1 here with a contrarian pitcher who was in the wind game at Wrigley there, which everyone was taking bats. Nobody was touching the pitching in that one. So contrarian pitcher, contrarian 4-man stack, and then just play the best plays with Shohei Ohtani being the number 1 projected stick on the night. Beautiful lineup. something I did not get to in any way last night. I played the shit out of the Rockies. I thought James Paxton was cooked.
So did I.
But yeah, here we are, and beautiful lineup here from him, and he did it not once but twice. But Nezzy, you were up there as well, there, dude.
Yeah, had a decent night. I didn't realize that he had Ohtani in his. I was kind of rooting for another Ohtani RBI, maybe an Ohtani stolen base, and then the Mets had another crack at it. The Rangers had Kisner on the mound in the ninth, a position player, if you don't know, and Alonso ended up doing or whoever subbed in for Alonso had a double play, and couldn't get that one last AB from Vientos, which I really needed. He was the 1v whatever. Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate, but we'll take a profitable night for sure. Shout out to the Assad pick though, man. Like I knew it was a win game, right? In Wrigley, and projections loved that that game too. But just knew that Assad just gets results that projections can't fathom. And I was like, man,
he's the Bailey Falter of our generation.
Yeah. And not that it mattered because I had Pavetta, and Pavetta had 2 more points than him, but that was definitely a sharp pick. Just knowing that Assad gets ground balls and the win doesn't matter if that's going to hold true. Even though the Giants ended up getting there was a lot of runs scored in that game just after Assad left.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Blake's saying it perfectly here that no one loves losing money on Coors more than me. It's so effing true. I have never got Coors right in my entire life. And as such, never Coors. We're changing our tone to, I don't know, maybe
John, not. They're free today. and we can play the lefties.
The lefties are back in. They're much better left-handed too. Oh my god, don't drag me back in with your Rockies hat.
Oh dude, come on, let's go. You already know.
I got some tabs pulled up here ready to go. Let's jump into the baseball stuff. It's a 10 gamer. I actually just want to bring it up in the platform itself here, just because it's pretty nice to look at. There's varying price points for everybody tonight, so even if you can't play big volume, make sure you get your double entry in at the 25. Make sure you get your single 100 in. And then if you're not in that stake limit, well, hey, they've recreated those same contests at a more palatable price with a 4 entry max at the $5 point and 3 for the $3. I think it's a very sharp way to do MLB. I've been a big proponent of just give us multiple options for not having to 100 max at a higher price point versus everybody else. So you know what I mean? Where it's you have to hit the effective nuts, give people a chance to win on 3 bullets, right?
Yep. Yeah, I love it. And it was very encouraging to see how quickly the main filled. It was awesome to see that it filled very early, and obviously it was the 30K price point. So, gives them the confidence to put out these other contests, which, like you mentioned, are very nice and accommodating for people that have, that want to play these smaller entries. So very awesome. Love to see it. And I am excited to get back into this main slate. I think $10 is a great price point. I can feel better not having to cram in volume and doing it in a way that feels suboptimal. I can play the way I want to play now, or the way that I prefer to play more. And I have to beat less people. That's awesome.
Right.
I love that. So I think it's a great step in the right direction. And we'll see, man, if people are really taking to this. I keep talking about what does it look like if we increase, but let's just fill this. Let's fill this first. But what I do think it does though, is I think it might allow us, and we'll see. I don't think that we'll see it tomorrow, but when we have like Wednesdays, the getaway games, and Thursdays, those 2 getaway days, typically you can't do 30K for the main slate there, for the afternoon slate. If you do $10, you might be able to. It still might be pushing it, but I just think the creativity there is very sharp, and I'm excited to get into today's main slate for sure.
Love it. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, Nez. Let's start where we always start with weather and stuff. It looks like we got another Wrigley game with the winds blowing out at 15. It's hot again. It's like 85, 90 degrees there. And then same city, different ballpark, which means it sits the opposite direction. So those winds blowing out are not blowing out for the White Sox. They are actually blowing right to left there, but still going to be some warm hitting conditions. A little bit of rain in Colorado that comes over the ballpark, but it's warm. So it's that classic, like, this might be bad for pitchers and we might get a little bit of a delay, but probably shouldn't affect bats in a huge way. So probably not overly concerned. There is a potential washout spot here with the Twins and the Rays, though. Numi, boots on the ground there, was saying it looks pretty bad in Minnesota right now. Definitely looks like postpone is on the table, as Roth alludes to here. Anything to add, Nez?
No, you nailed it. Like you said, Numi boots on the ground, checking his own forecast as well. Tomorrow's temperature looks pretty low in Minneapolis, and
Okay.
you're looking at like a 20-degree temperature difference. So, that usually happens after big storms roll through. So I am very, very much bearish on this game, which stinks because Royce Lewis on the main slate, like, it's basically like having a player at Coors because dude is
Pretty
just
home run.
unbelievable. Yeah. Do you want 14 points or not? Like, okay, I guess I'll take Royce Lewis, but that takes Pablo Lopez off out of my player pool, which is a bummer because pitching is kind of mid today. There's some pretty decent options, but for the most part, nobody standing out as like a must have. Which, like, speaking of, man, I thought like I had like 2 shares of Kikuchi last night, and like, patting myself on the back here, a little victory lap, but like I was very shocked that he was like like a single digit ADP yesterday.
Yeah, I think it had less to do with him and more to do with, if I'm going to set up contrarian stacks, who else could I possibly do it with? Because 2 other pitchers were at Coors, 2 pitchers were in win games, and then it kind of just left you, okay, well, you're choosing between Kikuchi and Pavetta. Give me the strikeout rate in the better strikeout matchup with Kikuchi versus those 2. And then the 4th guy ended up getting scratched. Jose
Soriano. Yeah.
Soriano. Yeah.
I would have been so pissed if that lineup that I had that finished top 10 was got Soriano swapped and then didn't find its way there. I would have been very upset because I was Soriano or Pavetta like all night essentially.
Okay, yeah, because I was basically full punt and I had 58% Peterson. I just went all in on the Mets one. That worked out. So yeah, that was about the only thing that worked out for me because it was paired with like 60% Tovar. I went ham. I thought the leverage was getting 2 Rockies because I thought they were mispriced, and then I thought the leverage was Doyle being, I knew he was going to play, and I didn't think the field did. So I did my 2 25s early, and I did like the majority of my volume early because of real life shit anyways. And I just took Doyle over and over again in the 6th round because I was like, as soon as the people find him, I didn't think he would lead off, to be honest. Thought he'd hit second. So that was even like more of like oh fuck yeah, that's great. But
yeah. Dude, I'm with you. I mean, like I was fortunate to profit last night, but like 54% Tovar, 50% Doyle. I mean, those guys did jack shit. Like it just happened to mix in let's see like exactly how many Mets teams I had. I mean, not many.
Yeah, that was the difference between you and I last night, is you mixed in one intelligent Mets team. Man, this dog is on one this morning. And mixed in one intelligent Mets stack, and I didn't have that one, and then that's what was your biggest high scoring line.
Yep, I mean, literally one Vientos share. That's okay. Yeah, I only had one Vientos share, and I think 2 Lindors, 2 Alonsos, and like 1 or 2 Nimos in the main slate. So yeah, I mean, I told you it felt like a never Coors night, just because they were hard to stack, and they're not as hard to stack today, which is weird because they are, a pretty decent right-handed lineup, and you can do like, I just maybe like people just aren't woke to Andy Pages, but Pages is nice, and they're getting a
Yeah.
lefty on the mound today. Gomber's been okay, but
Mhm.
like it's the Dodgers at Coors, man. And I'm taking these
Yeah.
righty sticks, and you can do you mostly like you can get Pages on the way back if you start Teoscar Will Smith today, which
Mhm.
I do like.
Yeah, that wasn't there yesterday because obviously we add 4 more games to the slate today, so that opens up range of possibility. But I just want to remind everyone, like, be mindful of the fact of, well, 2 things. I'll say, be mindful of the fact that when it gets too late in the day and whatever, and you're building out this Teoscar, Will Smith, Pages over and over again, or whatever you decide to do from your own strategy standpoint, that someone's going to come into an Otani Freeman and Otani Teoscar, and those are entirely justifiable and never cancelable in baseball because the people are going to do some onslaught stacking, they're going to do some auto drafting, and it's going to happen. So just know when you're aping chalk on a slate like this, especially a Coors one, where like the biggest highest outlier run total is like 7, and then the next closest is like 5 and a bit. Yeah, it's going to exist. So just know that you're probably competing against something of that magnitude. And then the other thing is, even with the highest run total on the slate, even versus Gomber, even versus, as great a spot as this is, the Dodgers only get home like 1-5 on this slate, you know? Like they could put up enough runs to matter, but to break the slate and break the mold, like top stack 16% of the time, 20% at most. Like that's just the nature of baseball. And we literally saw it play out last night where it's like one off from Coors in a completely different game environment. And that had half as many teams to, well, not quite half as many, but it had 12 teams versus tonight has 20 teams to draft from.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right as far as range of outcomes, and I think that's what makes this game so much fun. And by this game, I mean like daily drafts, because you have this dynamic where like obviously everybody knows the Dodgers are like expected to smash tonight, but stacking is like so important, and if everybody is just cannibalizing themselves over these like trying to get these Dodgers, when like what makes a certain when do the Dodgers become bad to pick because they're impossible to stack? I mean, like
Yeah.
Otani obviously is like a whole is a beast like among himself, but like at 101, I think you always go Otani. But
Mhm.
after that, like do you even unless you're at the 6-7 in between there, like it just felt that's what I was talking about to you yesterday. We didn't get a chance to stream yesterday, but I was like, it felt like prime never Dodgers, because like if you're picking between 2 and 5, you just like can't build them in a way that I felt was plus EV, say whatever the hell, in a
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
that was profitable.
Yeah, and that's the difference between the draft style game and the redacted salary building game. Is like, if you wanted to put Dodgers together over and over again, as long as they fit salary wise, and you can always make them fit, you could do that. Right on our site, it's like if you want to put Dodgers together over and over again, well, good luck, because you're probably going to light 4 or 5 buy-ins on fire over and over again, chasing that one to have one lineup, right? And what's the tipping point for when it's actually profitable to do so, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, but I think there's contrarian ways to get to the Dodgers tonight. Kike Hernandez is a low key lefty killer, and he's most likely going to draw in tonight. Was not in yesterday, probably at the expense of Gavin Lux, I would guess.
Yeah.
Not for sure. Yeah. And then Miguel Rojas is probably going to be the everyday shortstop now that Mookie Betts is down with the fractured hand. So just for what it's worth, he had a nice game last night. Not a ton of power, but like definitely like a contributor and a guy who can, whatever, do exactly what he did last night, 18 points, something like that. Let's talk to the pitching. I jumped over to our platform instead of lineups because of the pitching. We were kind of headed in that direction there. If we X out Pablo, you're right, man. Like Walker Buehler hasn't been the Walker Buehler of old. He got knocked around by the Pirates recently. It was a bunch of walks, to be honest, and that kind of like pushed up his pitch count early,
Mhm.
not striking anybody out, not throwing, swing and miss stuff like he used to have. It's very interesting. Frammer got knocked around last time out as well in what looked like a really nice matchup against the Giants in a favorable pitching environment there. So, like, there's a lot of question marks at the top here. Like, Toronto has a lot of right-handed hitters, which is probably good for Houck, but Houck doesn't right-handed hitters that don't strike out for Toronto in a place that right-handed power is okay is like not the comfiest click in the world. And then Logan Webb has the win game. So you can kind of poke holes in all these guys, as you were alluding to. So it's not really a slate for me where I want to get like focused on, hey, I got to have like the top end of pitching. It's a really flat mix and match slate for pitching for me. How about you, Nez?
Yeah, totally. I'm not going to be like tripping over myself to get Valdez, but clearly one of the best pitchers today, given the matchup and the weather in Chicago. But yeah, he's so hot and cold. You don't know
Yeah.
if you're going to get 0 or 20 from the guy. It's pretty frustrating. But I'm hoping that it's not going to bite me, but like feeling very tempted to push up Alec Marsh in a big way, given the strikeouts that can come from the Oakland lineup, and he's been decent himself. So definitely into him. Logan Webb feels. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's talk about him for a second.
Yeah, Alec Marsh last time out in Yankee Stadium, 6 shutout innings there where he was no hitter through 6, I believe, something like that.
I think so.
So, I mean, a guy who started the year really, really strong, and we were like, hey, has he changed things? The new sweeper, blah, blah, blah. Is this a new version of Alec Marsh? And then he kind of fell off for a little bit. And then he was all the way back last time out against a very good lineup in a tough ballpark. So yeah, a lot to like in recent memory about Alec Marsh there. If you're scrolling the F down or not scrolling the F down, but if you're punting at pitcher there.
Yeah, and then I was getting a little confused on my my pitching stats there for Webb. I was worried that Webb was maybe more of like a fly ball pitcher that benefited from the park, but it appears he's got some pretty strong ground ball rates. So he might have the chance to mute the Cubs today, because the Cubs are not really hitting that well lately. I mean, the Cubs are just not going well at all. I mean, they lost last night. They're last in the division. It's a team that feels like they should be much better than they are.
They're one of the worst teams with runners in scoring position this year, like flat out, period. Like they've done nothing with guys on base. I don't know what's sticky about that. Like, hey, they can't pick up guys in the stretch. Like, they can't hit anybody with the stretch. They need full windup pitchers out there. But like, I don't know what there is the takeaway. Some of that's just noise and variance. But it is interesting just giving like how much power they have in that lineup. And you think it should be going better, especially once they start getting some of these warm weather wind games. But yeah, heavy ground ball pitcher in Webb there. It's going to be tough to elevate, even if you hit fly balls into the wind and they carry them out. It's hard to hit fly balls against Logan Webb.
Yeah, that makes me like Logan Webb a little bit more today, just because, like I said, it doesn't feel like anybody's going to separate. I do love Tanner Houck, though. I love targeting righties against the Blue Jays, and the Red Sox pitching, man, has just been so good this season. So I'm going to probably get me some Houck, but ultimately I'm going to be waiting quite a bit as well. So if I do end up with Bassett or even Steele, given it's not good that the wind, I believe, is blowing in the direction for this right-handed power. Wind's out to left. So that's not like great for Steele being a lefty, but I think Steele is kind of coming into his like good form lately. So I would probably still be okay with going Steele. Like I'm going to wait at pitching almost certainly today. Unless like I know that I'm planning on building something contrarian. And when you have Dodgers inflation, you can, like, if you know you're not going Dodgers, you can just push up a pitcher. You don't really lose a lot. So a lot of different ways to attack pitching. I like when pitching is like this, I will say. It's
me
fun.
Too. I will be clicking some really gross names all the way down here today.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. I actually like some of these ones better in terms of like the projection stuff that I've been looking through right now. Jonathan Cannon, I probably don't love going against Houston. Houston feels like a really good stack today, and there's a reason why Jordan's pushed up like that, but he hasn't given up much power to, it's not a big sample size, but not a ton of power to right-handed sticks, only giving up home runs to left-handed ones. And that's a pretty right-handed dominant lineup there outside of Jordan, who's one of the best hitters on earth. So, I mean, I might not get to Cannon. He's probably a play on redacted, not over here. But Luis Severino, I will definitely get to, even though Texas is good for hitting home runs in that ballpark. I probably won't get to Albert Suarez, who's looked pretty good last couple times out, back from the KBO. Now kind of looks like reinvented, but I think this is just a long way for me to say it. I will have Severino today. I will have Hogan Harris today. I'm a Hogan Harris low key, not believer, but like I don't think it's like that terrible. I will be down here scraping the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, Schwellenbach, I will have a couple too, just because of the variance that he introduces as a arm that's called up from Double A, who I kind of like the stuff. I've watched two of his starts now. He got shelled in one of them and kind of just skirted by against the Nationals in another one there. But like, I will introduce a little bit of this, like, can we find some strikeouts down here and just be different than the field?
I like it, man. It's definitely fun. You won't see me down there, but
Right.
but I like it.
Yep, entirely fair. Yeah, I mean, this Astro stack may be the true GM Chipsy alluding to today. I mean, I could get on board with that. Astros look really nice. You kind of talk out of your both sides of your mouth when it comes to baseball at times.
Oh,
Here, but Best Ball Moderate asking how wild do these drafts have to be to get thrown out? You basically just don't get thrown out in baseball. I mean, it would literally have to be two users sharing accounts or two users just fully tanking so the guy can take 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in terms of ADP. It would literally have to be like blatant collusion because there's going to be a lot of drafts where like, you know, Nez comes in here and he auto queues up Mets, and I come in here and I auto queue up Texas, and someone else comes in here and goes, I think Kansas City's the contrarian stack, and someone gets left with 3 Dodgers on the same team. It's going to happen. So it's just, yeah.
I only think you would see it as if after somebody was labeled with an out tag, like somebody took a player that was labeled out. Because if you take somebody that you don't think is going to play, you're just going to get swapped. So like it doesn't matter. It's like do your worst. If you want to get a draft thrown out in baseball, I know that's not what you're saying there, Moderate, but like if you want to try to get a draft thrown out, be my guest, but you have to blatantly take a player with an out tag. It's not like if you play hoops and you're here with us, like you can get a draft thrown out in hoops because you get weird. Like you can't do that over there. You just simply cannot. It's so different. So yeah, that's what's awesome about baseball, man, is like you see these 5-man onslaughts of just the grossest team on the slate get home. I mean, I think I said awesome. That's also like the most tilting thing in the goddamn world, but
it's awesome. It is awesome.
Awesome
all right. Yeah, for sure. Anything else we want to say just in terms of like stacks? We'll look at ADP in 1 second here. We won't go full game by game, but I think Dodgers are the obvious best stack on the slate. People will get to Royals inevitably. Brewers, I mean, like Griffin Canning he's been a gas can this year and whatnot, but like Brewers lack left-handed pop, and he's actually mitigated right-handed power in an okay way. And Willem Contreras has a questionable tag on the site here. So, I mean, like, I won't be stacking, even though I know, you know, Sal Frelick and Bryce Rang and whatever. I probably won't be stacking against Griffin Canning today, although I could see it being like viable just because of like some of those splits I was looking at earlier there. Yeah, I think Astros, Dodgers, free Rockies, and then the wind game will kind of be the wind Wrigley game, rather, will kind of be the chalk. And then people will draft Mets because they smashed last night, and people will draft Rangers because they got Seager and Simeon, and people are just praying that they finally end up getting home. Anyone else that you'd like to point out as like obvious stacks here?
Did you mention the Braves?
No, I did not actually. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think
that'll be obvious.
Yeah, the Braves. Yeah, I mean they still, even though they don't have Harris and Acuna, obviously, still very much in play for me against Casey Mize, who, you know, I don't have any fear in my heart over. But you know, I have recently started looking more at projections. Even though it's, you know, I try not to let them affect who I like too much, but I will say it's interesting that you know, these Braves here are, you know, they don't really separate today as far as the stack projections go, which I found to be interesting, and I hope that you know, leads its way into our streets because you know, I will attack Casey Mize anytime he's on the slate.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy when you just think about the prospect profile of Casey Mize like back in the
Yeah.
day, and they kind of like had him as ahead of Tariq Skubal in like internal rankings for a portion of time. You know, like you think about that Matt Manning, Casey Mize, and Tariq Skubal as like
Hmm.
these are going to be the three horses that carry us to the future, and like the most volatile of that bunch from like internal rankings was like, yeah, we think it's probably Scooball who's going to be the
Yeah.
shakiest of this bunch, and now
Yep.
he's turned out to be like the ace of it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, man. The Tigers were trying to set themselves up well, and yeah, it
Mhm.
just never panned out. But they are they're getting close. They are getting
Yeah.
close.
Okay, this is completely separate question. I just kind of like your opinion. For me, if I was building a franchise, like a real life franchise, throw the fantasy shit out the window right now. I don't think I would ever build from the staff out.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fragile, right?
Right.
Like it's just so incredibly fragile to do that. So I mean, I would agree with you. I would agree with
Just
you.
I mean, like, are you as a Pirates fan right now, are you confident in the direction they're going by building? Now they've taken some bats, like they took Henry Davis 101. They took who's the other guy recently?
Termar Johnson.
Termar Johnson. That was the other one.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like
that
20.
yeah. So like they have taken some bats, but like building from like the Paul Skeens, the Jared Jones, like out, like for the bats and the age of the bats to finally catch up to where those arms are at, and then those arms to still be healthy and overlay the time frame seems so much scarier than like, let's build a bunch of young sticks and then okay, this lineup looks like pretty competent, let's go buy pitching.
Right. I think from that standpoint, you just have to like focus on like Paul Skeens and
Right.
like there there's such a conundrum because like Paul Skeens is like on paper a player that like the Pirates would never ever extend ever.
Mhm.
But this dude is one of the more, and he's not even like a personality, but he is one of the most marketable players right now in
That's
the
true. There's
league
the
that
real
like,
life dynamic.
yeah, like he's a profitable, like that's a profitable investment, even if, you know, like even though the risk of ruin is there, if you know, if the inevitable Tommy John has to take place. So I think building around Skeens, you have Keller on a super team friendly contract based on the way that he's pitching right now. Um,
Mhm.
it would be a shame if they didn't like aggressively pursue bats with controllable years
Yeah.
like this year, for the chance to go for it this year and to have those bats next year. It would be borderline incompetence to not capitalize on Skeens, Jones, who Jones is so shaky right now,
Right.
Keller.
But is that
And dude, they've got really strong arms in the minors too. They've got I forget his name because there's like, it's not there's Braxton Ashcraft.
uh-huh.
Is that the one? Because like there's like so many names that sound so familiar. It is Braxton Ashcraft. He's in
Okay.
AAA. He's filthy. He's knocking on the door. They've got Bubba Chandler, who throws like 99. He's like his own Jared Jones. He was supposed to be a quarterback at Clemson. They drafted him, threw a bunch of money at him, and now he's playing baseball and he's in AA. He's nasty. So they
Mhm.
have more arms. They have more arms to bring up. So like, to not like treating these arms as though they're like rookie QBs, you know, because we see what the free agent market for arms. Jordan Montgomery just got 20 million a year.
That's
Jordan
fair.
Montgomery. So like you treat
Yeah,
you
Blake
kind of,
Snell as well.
yeah, like you treat these guys as though they're like rookie QBs and you just like you go all in. You cash in these chips. Like Termar Johnson, I love the kid. He's 20 years old. If that's what it takes to get a controllable bat for these arms, like you do that. So all that to say,
Right.
if you happen
Mm,
to hit on these young arms, I think that it is something that can be done. But there's also the money, the model where if you have money, you
mm.
just sign the pitching. You
Right.
go for the pitching. You sign the pitching and try
Right.
to hit the home
Okay.
runs, literally.
So we've addressed like the two builds right now, and the contradictory one to like kind of like the Pirates state of being right now would be Baltimore, where it's like Baltimore
Yes.
didn't have the pitching, they have all the old stuff, and then they had like let's be bad for a couple years here and then slowly bring bats along. And even the bats that are knocking on the door in AAA right now, we think could be like next level gown breaking studs. Which would you prefer? Not
Well,
not not like Pirates versus Baltimore. I
okay.
just mean like model. Like would you prefer to have the bats and go looking for the pitching, or would you prefer to have the pitching and go looking for the bats?
Mm. I think I would rather have the pitching if I knew the pitching was good. Like the now the process. I think the safer process is the bats. But
Okay.
if you know you have good pitching, give me the good pitching and figure it out versus the good bats and figure it
Okay.
out. Is
Yeah.
what I would do. Now,
Yeah, I think
quickly,
I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I
interesting.
think
Now, if the
yeah, I think
Orioles don't go and get Scooball, man, they are out of their goddamn minds. You do whatever it takes to get Tariq Scooball.
I think you're more likely to be able to get Garrett Crochet than you are to get Scooball. In terms
Yeah.
of like
Yep.
contract and in terms of like just movable piece that's more expendable. Like Scooball feels like the building block for the Tigers, whereas like
You're
Garrett
right.
Crochet, though he's young and whatever, he feels like a converted reliever. He feels like a project that you capitalize max value on before the wheels fall off, kind of deal.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Crochet is definitely more gettable, but a left-handed stud for Baltimore just makes like entirely too much sense.
Yeah, it does, especially in that ballpark where it's like right-handed power plays poorly anyways. So it's like bring in the lefty that mitigates the left-handed power, and we'll just deal with the yard controlling righties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be a problem if they do that.
Yeah, it's such a shame the Kyle Bradish and John Means stuff for them for their like just because like the Rays are going to get all this pitching back in the middle of the season right now, and
Yeah.
Baltimore's losing all this pitching in the middle of the season. It's going to be very interesting to see that play out.
Real quick before we move on, what I think the Orioles will do though is I don't think they're going. I think they're too stubborn to pay what they need to pay to get Crochet, and I could see them looking at the Angels and just like give me like Patrick Sandoval, and that'll be like good enough, like a Jack
Right.
Flaherty move of last year, where they just get like a middling pitcher instead because they're too
Why
focused
didn't
on the long
Flaherty
term
be
model.
why couldn't Flaherty be who he was this year for them
No,
last year? Like what a shame,
it's
man.
so weird. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Okay, last one here, then we'll talk about the slate here. So this is a good one from Coach Nez saying that you get the college bats after you have the young arms. That's entirely fair. Like you don't draft in the way in which they've drafted right now, where they have like 20-year-old bats like coming. You go and you get like 23-year-old bats. Like that
Yeah.
checks out. Yeah, like the Wyatt Langfords would fit right now better with the Pirates than Henry Davis and whomever else.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, O's or Yanks?
Yankees.
Yeah, I think so too now. I kind of like flipped my tone on that one as we see. And like the nice little segue to that for our conversation is the fact that Garrett Cole's coming back this week. Yeah.
I think he's coming back tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow or Thursday, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the O's decision-making tree is going to be very interesting as like the Rays get better, as like the Blue Jays and Red Sox continue to tread water,
Yeah.
and then the Yankees bring back like more talent, and they have the resources to go out and pad if need be, kind of thing. Like they can address the bottom half of that order, get rid of DJ LeMahieu at bats, upgrade at first base so Rizzo's a full-time platoon guy. Whereas like the O's are going to be sitting there and they're going to be like, what do we do with Mayo? What do we do with Colton Cowser? What do we do with, it's going to be very interesting from a ownership group standpoint because they were a year ahead last year. And then this year they're quote unquote underachieving comparative to the expectations, which they set last year. And now it's like the Yankees got Juan Soto and are a juggernaut. What do you do to counter that? Or do you just wait for the next year and hope you get your healthy arms back, hope you get whatever?
And I think they're going to do the latter.
Yeah. I mean, kind of a shame because like Corbin Burns, like that acquisition was so sharp and he's been like literally the best pitcher in baseball since like the middle of 2023 now. Like lowest ERA. Yeah, it was like the Underdog sent out a tweet the other day. Anyways, there we go. Anyone else we want to say, Nez, as potential contrarian stacks? I want to say one thing to sound somewhat intelligent when it comes to stacking against Frammer. Like Frammer's a big like mitigate hard contact, not a huge strikeout rate guy, though he's a good strikeout rate guy, but like he's kind of like Max Fried was yesterday, where you're betting on the quality start, you're betting on the depth, but in terms of like ace for a slate, his strikeout rate isn't as high as like going after even Garrett Crochet or something like that, who has like a 30+% strikeout rate. So like the floor is in like the volume and stuff like that. I just want to point out, though the White Sox have been terrible, though they're on this huge losing skid, their lineup is much improved over the last like 3 days there. They took the Mariners to extra innings twice, and they just, they got Tommy Pham back. They got they don't have Benintendi in this lineup because he's a lefty, but Benintendi is going to be there to pitch hit. Gavin Sheets will be there to pinch hit. So I'm just saying that, like, yeah, the White Sox on paper, like, they've been really bad, but their run totals, we've been accustomed to seeing them well under 3 against a pitcher of like Frammer's quality. And all of a sudden you're seeing them still at like 3.5, something like that. So just to say that the ace of the slate isn't as safe as, some of these other ones in the future have been.
Yeah, good shout. The only other thing I would say is I like the Angels today against Tobias Myers, who is back-to-back quality starts, I believe. Let me fact check that. Back-to-back quality starts. He threw 8 innings against the Tigers, 6 innings against the Blue Jays. But yeah, I love my Angels though, and I love contrarian stacking the Angels. So especially in Anaheim. So
yeah, it's a good place to pit or a good place to hit now. So yeah absolutely. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's hop in here and rip a draft unless you got anything else that you've noticed in ADP. I will admit this is my first draft of the day. Normally I have, at least 10 under my belt, but woke up a little later than usual today. What do you notice in terms of ADP, Nez?
Well, I mean, it's Dodgerflation, and Judge and Soto, and then like the rest of the Yankees are nowhere to be seen. So you can stack Yankees very easily. Get yourself some Verdugo, get yourself some Volpe, some Stanton. Is a really nice way to build that out. And my boy Jarren Duran buried today. I know he's going against Bassett, who is like fine, but like
pardon.
Your boy?
Your boy? Jarren Duran?
I've taken him? Dude, I love Jarren Duran. Jarren Duran
he's electric, man.
I think he's my highest drafted player in the 7th inning stretch. So and he helped me win a pick'em 2 nights ago. I had him higher 1.5 total bases with the Judge fantasy points. I was just running bad, missing these pick'ems by 1 projection over and over. And I was like, you know what? I never do 2. I'm like, let me do 2. I'm nuking it and I'm going to win. And Judge Judge homer got that out of the way. And then Duran with his last AB got me that 2nd total base. So he's my boy going against a righty. All this dude does is hit. And all he does is hit extra bases too. I think he has 30 extra bases this season.
Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, they've been throwing out some really good nugs there. Jay had been on Jarren Duran, like just in terms of a player who has X amount of home runs, X amount of triples, X amount of doubles, and X amount of steals up until this point in the season. Like nobody's done it since 1940 something. Like no just shit. Like the combination of those 4 categories. Yeah. I mean, like the steals the triples is obviously the crazy outlier associated with that. But
he's got speed,
Yeah. He's been big time thus far. Some good shouts in the chat there. I'm seeing some McMahon. I am seeing some Nolan Jones. We were talking about how Rocky's low-key underpriced, and what's his face? Walker Buehler isn't who he has been in a minute. Am I blind here? Where did I'm seeing a webcam. There we go. They all got They all got the same logo today.
Some people are
Two
going to
more
be thinking they're entering $10 and they're like, oh, 25 out of my account. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. Let me check. I wanted to look at one more thing. Oh, I was looking at, just to prove I'm not full of it. I was looking at Suarez earlier here, guys. You know, looking at those KBO metrics. You know, checking out that XFIP.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a KBO guy. I forgot. We might have talked about it once or twice and slipped my memory. Friends and family here today, though.
Yeah, we got A Rosen, we got now Ricky, we got Grill Belichick, we got last night's champ in the Best Ball Vibes, and then we got Falco, who never says anything in the chat, but I know he's hanging out. He's got a couple wins under his belt this year, so this is a loaded room here.
Who's who of the baseball streets?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, throw Brad into this cement mixer here, and throw yourself in here, and we got some champs.
Cement mixer.
Cement mixer, aka what I used to throw.
Yeah. So John, I'm finishing up my my 7th inning stretch slows. They're at 1 hour timers now, so I'm almost completely finished with that. And you know who I'm tacking on toward the end of these drafts, man? You can tell me I'm stupid. You can tell me it's a waste of money. Jacob deGrom's throwing a bullpen session.
Oh, you cheeky bastard!
What do you think of all the 20th round deGrom? Is that a waste of money?
I mean, you're talking to the guy who has 20% Max Scherzer in the dinger, so okay. I don't think it's a waste of money. It's a 1 week sprint contest, and if you get a start out of him, is this Jordan for you or Judge?
Judge.
All right,
I don't know why. I don't know why Judge is not the 102.
Yep, that's fair. Maybe Suarez is just better than Jonathan Cannon, something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
We got some members checking in here. We got our guy Brendo checking in with the GM. We got our guy Ben checking in. We got Drew checking in. We got the Atlanta Braves checking in.
Love the check-ins.
Yeah, love it. Speaking of Braves, absolute saucing that the Braves are free today, so that is fun. Yeah, Ozuna looks like a nice home run pick there. A little Riley Green love from T-Bear. T-Bear boots on the ground there, knows that it's hot in Atlanta. Like that one. And then John alluding to here in the chat, yeah, McMahon plus Jones feels fun. And it does feel cheap there.
For sure.
Yeah, Duke saying that getting the Brewers in the conversation for Crochet. I mean, like, yeah, is Lar enough to get in there? Like, Lar's 20 right now, a couple years away, 1 year away kind of thing. I don't know a ton about like the isolated prospect in and of himself. So I'd literally have to go do some research there, but like the Brewers being in on Crochet makes a lot of sense, right?
It does. They should be trying to acquire pitching by any means necessary. I mean, they've got some guys hurt, but they came into the season with like really poor pitching depth as it was. You know, it was just Peralta, and they were going to, you know, I guess like figure it out at the deadline, I guess was their assumption. And they're looking live to do that. They've got a very good lineup. They're sitting in first, like with ease right now. Lara, I get, you know, just like my quick and dirty analysis is he's 19, 5'8", $150, not hitting well yet in high A. Don't think that is going to move the needle for Crochet.
Okay.
On his own, but he is like a top 5 for them.
Should we do a little Ozuna Olsen here to pair with Judge and then get funky with a 2-off, or do you like a better plan?
Nope, that's very fun. Let's try to do Ozuna first, I think.
Okay.
Because there's other infield, you know, you can pivot to Riley or Albies if A Rosen decides to hit that, but nope, he's going with our Bo Sox.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, Duran and Devers go there. We'll take Olsen to pair alongside Ozuna and Judge there. And then I think we got to get scrolling. There's Best Ball Viper taking the Andy Pajes pick that you were alluding to. When you start with 2 Dodgers and he comes back around like that, you can get on it still.
Yeah, you almost have to.
Different than yesterday's slate where that wasn't readily available. You had to do a couple drafts to find your way to that.
Mm-hmm. And then Falco clearly getting ready to onslaught the Rockies there with the Nolan Jones 2nd round pick, which I think is totally fine. I'm going to have a lot of Rockies again today. So
yeah, me too, I think. Yeah. Johnny Basketball is chiming in 92 degrees in Boston right now. I mean,
92.
yeah, we're gonna find our way to Tyler O'Neill pulling one over the monster again. He pulled 2 over there yesterday.
Maybe in where does Toronto play?
Oh yeah, it's not even there. Yeah, you're right.
I wish, man. They'd be hitting balls through the monster.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man. Certified lefty killer, Tyler O'Neill, man.
What a pickup.
He went cold for a minute there though. Like he had like 10 homers in like the first month and a bit, and then he went on the IL twice, like 2, or I think he was out and then an IL stint and then out or whatever. Okay, we're back up here. There's only 2 pitchers off the board thus far, Nez. I could be torn in any different direction here.
Yeah. You want to just grab a pitcher, make an easy decision?
I kind of like your shout on Webb.
Yeah, I think Webb might make sense today.
He pitches way better at home, just like in a vacuum. He pitches way better at home, but professional pitcher who's going to go deep, who, a lot of ground balls. He does feel like the floor-iest of the options after Frammer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think that's the perfect way to describe him. Definitely want Houck and Frammer first, but Logan Webb is, I think, clearly number 3 for me. Okay, now here, do you want to just keep hitting these Braves or no?
I want to do something funky.
Okay.
Let's do McMahon. Let's do McMahon as a one-off or McMahon as a...
Falco's going to pop out of the woodwork and tell you to buzz off. You're going to have trouble stacking him unless you do it with Blackman.
Yeah, we can do it with Blackman. I'm happy with that.
Okay. He might end up doing that or pivoting to a different team.
I mean, we could do Tovar too. Like, Tovar looked freaking lost last night. I was looking at it a little bit there. But, like, man, he... back-to-back ABs where he was down like 0-2 and just like whiffing over that back foot slider from Paxton. It looked like vintage Paxton versus Tovar those first couple of ABs last night, but he's having a really nice year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the Tovar well today in a big way. So if it burns me, it burns me. It is what it is. Who was I was about to mention a play that I liked. Oh, so Best Ball Viper goes Nestor Cortez. Not that I like this guy, but Cortez is 4th in projection today for the bat. I found that pretty interesting. I wasn't going to go that way, but makes me wonder, like, does the bat just really love Cortez? Does it think that the righties for the Orioles are just not strong? Like, I was very curious.
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably they don't think much of the right-handed sticks. Like Jordan Westbrook probably leads off. In Adley's worse from the right side. Santander's worse from the right side. Yeah.
Like, I'll take Gunnar like in that matchup. Like, I'm not really concerned about Gunnar splits personally, just because he's been so goddamn good.
He's been very good against lefties this year.
Yeah, and then your boy Mountcastle seems fun.
Yeah. I like the Mountcastle shout. Tovar went in front there, so we can't even stack that one on. This feels like Blackman to land the plane in an intelligent fashion here, or Stanton.
I could go for Stanton.
Which do you prefer, Blackman or Stanton?
Stanton.
He's gone.
Well, Bobby Witt staring us seems like if you want to throw a condom on this thing.
You pick.
Blackman. We respect Hogan Harris too much with that sub-3 ERA.
There we go. Damn right we do. Here, hold on one second. I gotta adjust this thing real quick.
Dude, you better hurry because I drank too much of an energy drink and I gotta piss. Oh man. All right. Chat, I have 3 picks left in this, or 4 picks left in the 7th inning stretch. It's a 5-6-5. My last pitcher taken is Hunter Brown. My last outfielder taken is McCutcheon. Before that, it was Marte. I think I need a pitcher here. Eric Fetty, Christopher Sanchez, Gavin Stone, Charlie Morton. Unless you guys have other favorable late round pitching that I should go for. But I've been doing a ton of Christopher Sanchez again. What else is new, especially after his nice quality start yesterday? Corey says Sanchez. Taijuan Walker, Chip, I'm not taking your bags off you. Grill says Fetty. Sam likes Pepio or okay, if Sam Wilson's gonna tell me to take Pepio or Taj. I keep typing okay, Taj is gone, probably to you. All right, we'll go Pepio. Really strong K per 9. And I got another one in the 18th. Are you back, John? No.
All right.
You're back? Okay.
Yeah. Headphones died.
Rip.
All right. Here we go.
Corded life is where it's at. What are you thinking next? Puppy or another Tuesday?
Whichever you prefer. We could what time is it? I'm good to do one more and then the puppy, or I'm good to just jump in puppy. Let's just jump in the puppy. It's better.
Yeah, let's go puppy. While this thing fills, I'm gonna BRB. Very fast.
Sounds good. Let's do this. All right, hopping in the brand new Puppy 2 contest. I have not looked at the structure. I imagine it's the same as Puppy 1, but we will. There we go. Boom. Yeah, 2 out of 12, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, and then 188 person final, 4 more spots. Let's do this. All right, Puppy it is. Matt wants Puppy. Matt gets. Yeah, Braves shouting out the fact that Hogan Harris's xERA is 2 points higher. That is probably not a great thing for his prospects this evening. That's a good shout there. T-Bear, I like this one. The Mountcastle Double Dong Day does feel good. That does feel good. Corey saying Sanchez, a little Gary Sanchez shout. Is that what that is? Or was he talking about you guys were making the pick for... Oh, I imagine that's... Okay, I got you now. That's probably making the pick for Nez's 7th inning there. Nobody wants to draft Gary Sanchez today. Oh, all right. Let's do this. We roll the 105 here. We got Blake in here. We got Chris in here. Oh, my goodness. Rain City Bastard. What a beauty. Fins fan. We've seen Fins fan in a couple here. Say what up if you're hanging out here. You got Dub City. Is that Coach Nez? Dub City, is that Coach Nez? There you go. Yeah, there you go. The legend himself is in here. Love it. CJ Cat with the 101. Okay, I got a spicy take. I got to get it off my chest. Oh, here we go. Sun Q's in there too. Coach Nez is in here. Love it. Beautiful. Okay, I'm glad, Nez, I'm glad you're back for the spicy take.
Oh, God. What have you done?
I got a comp, man. I got a comp. I was going to say it yesterday. I was going to say it on one of the 2 shows yesterday. Everyone has been talking about Vidal, and everybody has been sharing their exposure, and we know all the stuff about the J.K. Dobbins contract. We know all this stuff. I have seen this situation play out before where there has been no coach speak about a player. There has been low draft capital spent on a running back to bring in to a new team with a new coaching staff. I have seen this, and then the only hype being his pass protection is the big thing coming out of camp, because that was the coach speak index stuff from yesterday was pass protection was the MO for Vidal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson for us?
Yeah. It's got to be.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson just feels too damn good now with the salary stuff and with the Instalytics. I'll let you talk about the Instalytics on JJ McCarthy after. But okay, this is the take, Nez. Tommy Vidal, Keyshawn Vaughn. I have seen this movie before.
Wow.
best graded pass protecting running back from the year before in college from a quote unquote bad school. Vanderbilt probably better than Troy just based on the competition that they play against. But you get a guy who was a good college pass pro graded guy who was playing against inferior athletes comparative to where the other running backs come out of. They spend low draft capital on him. They have a guy that everybody pronounces dead, dusty veteran in front that they bring in. It was Lenny Fitz, or not Lenny Fitz. It was Fat Lenny that year in Fournette. This year it's Gus Bus in front here. I know maybe there's a little bit of injury concern and that sort of thing is a little bit different. I've seen this movie before with Keyshawn Vaughn. That's my comp, dude. They're basically both the exact same size. They talk about the pass catching ability. Both of their college tape looks electric. They were both 1,200 yards, 10 touchdown kind of guys. That's the comp.
I have no qualms with it, man. I think Vidal is just a super risky pick in the month of June. Just incredibly risky. And I will say, I mean, yeah, that Coach Speak Index decided to pump his bags for whatever reason on that Vidal pick. We love Coach Speak Index, but like just like resurfacing a 2-month-old clip for some reason because he was feeling frisky that morning. I will say it feels like coming out of LA when you hear the coach comments of other teams and then you hear the Chargers coach comments, it sounds like it's a brand new regime trying to build good rapport.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I agree with you.
They are so uncritical. Like they're talking about everybody in such like glowing positive light. I think they're trying to like restore the vibes in LA a little bit. And I can't blame them for being glowy and positive. That's probably what you should be. But like Todd Bowles is not going to talk like that. Todd Bowles will not. But what I did find interesting is I was talking to a friend of mine who I trust his NCAA takes. Mm-hmm. He really likes Jalen McMillan. And I missed the clip of Todd Bowles essentially like explicitly stating that Trey Palmer is behind Jalen McMillan.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. We're back up here, Nez. Waddle goes in front. It's kind of the new meta to push up Waddle a little bit. Ranks have like Adams, Debo, Mike Evans, nothing obvious. What do you like?
I'm a Nico, or Nico's gone. Devontae or Debo?
All right, let's do Debo.
Let's do your boy Evans.
No, admittedly, I haven't taken a ton of Evans thus far because I have been taking Adams and Debo ahead of him. So, the only time I end up with him is when he kind of like falls to the backside a little bit further. So he's paired with like more of my like 101 stuff. I don't really take him at 20 here, but yeah, it feels nice to get Debo. And if anything happens with Ayuk in terms of like holdout movement, blah blah blah, like Debo's just going to continue to look okay. Yeah, I mean, like,
I think I don't know that he has the juice. So let's just say like Brandon Ayuk gets traded and like not even like this isn't a Brandon Ayuk hypothetical here. Really, it's more about Debo. Where if Ayuk moves and if he goes to the Steelers in this scenario, Debo I think flips Ayuk. I don't know that he has the juice to flip Olave, but it would make me more confident in taking Debo over Olave. I was doing it to start BBM. I stopped doing it as I'm building out a portfolio more. But I mean, yeah, right. But I think Ayuk finds himself if Ayuk is a Steeler, I think he finds himself 2-3 turn. Personally, I don't know that is good news for Brandon Ayuk.
Ooh, interesting. That's contrarian take to what Pete and I said yesterday. We kind of glossed over that one really quickly yesterday.
Yeah, we were those drafts were moving. Flying, man.
Yeah, they were moving.
Crazy. I like it like that, but
while we were talking about Jalen McMillan, we got to go back and we got to reset the pendulum there on a good UW boy who Ben Gretsch called describe him in one word, and he said inconsistent, and I said smooth. So, I think he's smooth, man. I think, there we go. Coach Nez flipping the board, taking his guys. Get your guys.
Go.
Get your Steelers C's on. This one for me is pretty easily DK. Like I just have DK in a different little grouping here, and this
Yeah.
is pretty piss boy room. It gives another out to a backdoor stack, and no overlapping buys in our first three feel pretty good.
Yeah, I don't take enough Metcalf, and I wish I was taking more of him. I think it's because I'm just like clicking digs without hesitation instead. But need some more Metcalf in my life. Where do you think? Do you think that Gino has legit benching concerns? Hearing this more and more.
I I mean, the benching concerns stem from the structure of his contract with the what they gave up to get Sam Howell and the fact that there's a brand new coaching staff. So if things are going terribly at the end of the season there and they're out of contention in the last 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it may be, could they turn to benching? Absolutely. But at that point, my Seattle stuff is dead anyways, so I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not going to deter me from taking DK and stacking him with DK, because if it all goes belly up, it all went belly up anyways, and this roster's not doing anything anyways. So
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Do I think there's benching concerns? Yes, I think that's a real possibility at the end of the season if everything goes terrible and the rest of that division takes a step forward or is just as good as they were or expected to be last year. You know what I mean? Because the Rams are in win now mode. Arizona is vastly improved on offense with the acquisitions they made in the draft, and then the Niners are expected to just walk away with the division with 13 wins, right? So
yeah, I yeah, I think for me it goes back to like even the beginning of like the Geno discussions, where like when Geno was expected to start, nobody thought he was good to begin with. I still just don't think that he just gets the respect that he deserves, and I do acknowledge that he did not have a good season last year, but obviously things have changed in his favor, other than Sam Howell being brought in, which definitely is like, oh, what's that about?
Right. And that
I don't want to believe that Geno can be benched because I love him.
how coming in might not be anything too. It could just be
nothing.
It could just be like, hey, what team took a quarterback? What team has too many quarterbacks on their roster right now? And we need a backup because we lost Drew Lock. That's all
Exactly.
it is, Jalen Hurts falling back's kind of fun if we wanted to do like a naked Hurts or mix them in. I don't know. I'm open to whatever here, Nez.
We can do Hurts or Kelsey.
Kelsey or Hurts.
Kelsey feels better, but no problem if anybody wants to take the value. Like you can do Jalen Hurts without his stacking partners because of he obviously runs a shit ton. So I mean, there's definitely nothing wrong with that.
You know what? Everyone who takes Hurts stacks Hurts, and rightfully so. That's the mantra of our quarterbacks and whatnot to win weeks on this platform. Is you probably want your quarterbacks to be stacked, especially in week 17, because if Jalen Hurts goes off, AJ Brown or Devonta Smith's probably going off, right? The flip side to it is you could just pair it with Goddard, you can pair it with Shipley, you can pair it with some of those back end contingent ones that you may not think much of right now, but we could all be clamoring for like Johnny Wilson come week 16, week 17, right? So yeah.
And obviously you get Goddard too if you do pick up Hurts. You can. Yeah. I wouldn't wait. I would not like if you're Chris here and you have Hurts and you have Goddard coming to you before you make that second turn pick. Like I would not push it. For like an extra 4 picks of ADP, in that regard. Like I would definitely get that stack and complete it. Like you kind of owe it to yourself at that point. But
yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, we're gonna have some decisions coming up here.
I'm excited to see what Dub City 814 does there, Coach Nez. I don't know that he's this might be his first best ball draft. I'm honestly not sure. I don't know how much NFL he's done this season.
Yeah.
So we'll see if draft some. Just keep drafting wide receivers.
Nez. I don't know. He's already got some correlation here, man. He's a week 17, bro.
The bros of the bros, man. And he's got the family correlation there with Barkley under cousin Nick's watch. So we'll see what he does. notoriously a Deuce Vaughn guy last year.
Ooh,
So
interesting.
I wonder who his guy is. It'll be fun to watch to see who he drafts.
I like it. The football therapist saying that he's seen Hurts fall to the 4-5 turn there. Yeah, the landscape of quarterbacks is interesting because Blake's just pointing out that like QBs are falling lately, and he doesn't really get it because like Josh Allen was going in the second round last year. Now he finishes as a top quarterback and he falls more rounds. I think this is Mahomes. Nez, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this pick's gonna make itself.
I mean, we could get really frisky. Yeah, I think it picks itself. I mean, you could get really frisky and take like Hollywood here and then dare someone to do the Mahomes stack on the other side of the board. But
yeah,
I don't know how much you gain opposed to just being like maybe we're the year Hollywood come back now that you've taken
exactly.
Mahomes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely the way to play it. But if you're in like a super badged up room and a super sweaty room, you could push Mahomes. But me, if I see Mahomes fall like 8 picks past ADP, I take him and then I make Rice like a priority for me. And whenever Mahomes falls to me, I feel like not enough people do that. So I'm glad that we did that. You were talking about JJ McCarthy and the Instalytics.
The Instalytics, baby. I saw you.
We're
I saw
back.
you grinding the Instagram stories out there.
Bump him up. Bump him up in the ranks.
Okay.
JJ McCarthy, new post. First off, had no idea this dude was so popular on Instagram.
Okay.
67,000 likes on this post. Jesus.
I mean, he won a natty, and that's the age bracket of that generation is to
Ann Arbor. Yeah, a lot of IG there, a lot of followers. He's got a picture.
100K in every game there in that stadium. You know, like we're talking about
I've been to the big house here.
Have you? There. Nice.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they have like a connection with Slippery Rock, and they played a game there once, and they bussed all of us to the big house. So he's got a picture, JJ McCarthy in this post. He's got he's got the red shirt on, no contact jersey, 2 hands on the ball, big smile on his face. The caption reads, "Sports with the guys, greater than."
I mean, there's never been a greater title for a post ever.
Sports with the guys.
Yeah, that's like guys being guys. That's like dudes being dudes. That is up there.
I mean, and it's so true, right?
Yeah.
What's better than sports with the guys?
Nothing. That's what we're doing right now.
Spitting facts.
Yeah. Great knowledge.
I love it.
Oh my God. All right, we're gonna be up here again. Yeah, there was I saw a different post too. Blake's alluding to there was here you go. Meatwad's got us. Sports with the guys. Yeah, he's talking about a different post. I did see the other post where he said he was studying the playbook at night with his girl, and his girl was she could play for my team if she would like. She's not bad, Nezzy.
See, that's a distraction. I don't know.
No. He's wiped up. He's gonna stay focused. He's not chasing tail. You know.
That's true. That's actually very true.
He's focused on his craft. I like Ken Walker here.
Yeah, let's get some correlation with DK.
Yeah, I mean, we could do the Addison and set up a double for the aforementioned JJ there, but I mean, we already got Justin Jefferson here. We're kind of going to fall behind a little bit on running back. And like, I do think Walker in my mind is a little bit ahead of this next grouping. What do you think about that take?
Yeah, I like that take a lot. I mean, there's poke a lot of holes in the players below him in there. If Walker's healthy, he's definitely the lead back there. I mean, Sharps gets his, but Kenneth Walker definitely, like, as a archetype, is like the last of a breed. I would say.
Yeah, I agree with you there, because you get into like the Montgomery split, you're chasing touchdowns. You get into the Pittsburgh split, you pick your favorite between the two. You get into the health of Aaron Jones, coupled with the fact that Ty Chandler looked decent at times last year. It does feel like a little bit of break. As much as we like Sharps, man, we've been outspoken about being like what we saw from Sharps we like last year, but like, I don't know, just ceiling outcome potential. There's a way that you could see Kenneth Walker being a 3rd round pick next year. Fuck, Rice goes.
That's a little early for Rice too. I thought we would have been able to get him to fall back.
Seattle stacks, Brady doubles, and and Pittsburgh shit. That's what we're known for here.
Come on, guys. I mean,
Same show, different day, boys.
What do you expect from us?
Oh man.
What's Dub City rocking right now? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. He just took Burrow to stack with Chase, I believe. Yeah, so he
Okay.
knows what he's doing here. And then he
Yeah.
takes Jaden Reed, little hat tip.
Jaden Reed is a household favorite and
Mm.
with the Nesbitts. We were back home watching the Packers. We were all goo gaga over Jaden Reed. All right.
Okay. JSN sets up a monster stack. Watson or one of the running backs to
Let's
stack
do
and
Swift.
correlate. You want to
Let's
do
go
Swift
super
over Najee?
just for the super duper week 17 correlation. I guess we have both.
Yeah, we have both.
We might get Warren on the way back.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Potentially.
And we could do like Freiermuth. It's not as fun. Having two tight ends from the same game feels bad. When you're trying to run a run back, it's kind of like having the two quarterbacks from the same game, where it's like you're capping your run back potential because you're cutting one of them out of your lineup. Like if you take Freiermuth on this, it kind of just feels like Freiermuth is, what is he going to do? Outscore Travis Kelce? No. Okay, are you going to use him as in the flex? Well, then you probably lost.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way to think about it. And I'm pretty sure the R squared for two tight ends like going off at the same time in opposite games is like not strong. It seems like a tight end going off is in more like it's like typically more one or the other. Some nerds said that once and I picked it up and it stuck with me, but it checks out. It checks out.
I'm never relinquishing this.
No, the anchoring bias is stronger than ever on that.
Oh, I love it. Here's a really nice meta from our Michigan resident here. That the Michigan football team's first game ever was versus Slippery Rock, and now they've maintained connection ever since. That's
shout out
cool.
Ben. They announce the Slippery Rock scores at all of their home games, and the crowd goes nuts when they do it.
That's dope. Huh, cool.
Probably because it's such a silly ass name, but
there's so many little like nuanced college football traditions that like if you're not hyper local or you haven't been to the environment, you would never know about. And like that's a really cool one.
That's what it's all about.
All right. Lockett does the same thing for us. Zamir White. There's a whole bunch of quarterbacks here, none of which.
Yeah, could you go by ADP just for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Sutton, Samuel, Connor.
Yeah, this is what do you think?
I like Zamir White.
Let's do it.
I haven't taken
Zamir.
I haven't taken him a ton yet, but I'm really buying the glowing reviews from both the coaching staff and the players talking about him of like, I think they think he's as good as Josh Jacobs. And that inspires hope in me, you know?
Yeah, if they don't bring in anybody else there and it's just like White, Lube, and Madison, probably going to be very good for Zamir.
Yeah. And like, even if the team is bad and they win 6 games, they're going to be playing shootouts. They're going to be playing trailing game environment stuff. I don't know. I'm warming up to it. I was kind of out before, and I was like, give me the Zach Moss upside. Give me like Jalen Warren stuff. And I probably still would take them over him. But like Zamir does feel like a guy who could accidentally find his way to 280 carries this year. And we just look up and we just go like, yeah, he's got like 1,400 yards and 8 touchdowns. And it's like, where the fuck did that come from in the 8th round, you know?
Yeah, I guess like when you think about the competition there, we don't have much respect for Madison, and Lube is a rookie. So, I mean, I don't have a lot of respect for rookie running backs, to be quite honest, unless they are generational. So, yeah, Zamir is definitely set up to succeed. That range is just so ambiguous that, like, you know, it could be really anybody from there, but it's not hard to paint the bull case for Zamir. That's for sure. And I think this now sets us up for probably like a 5 RB team, I would say, given that we took 3 before round 10.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you there. Kind of interesting build for us to start like full piss boy and then not have another wide receiver until like the 8th. Like this is we're challenging ourselves here, and I like that.
Yeah, it's something different. Got to mix it up, man. You got to give yourself
I
different textures.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce is gonna run the damn ball. I like that one. I love this comment. Brady Sanders said, "You cowards won't go round 17, 18 Gino Visca for the ultra stack."
Is Visca a Seahawk? I don't
Yeah.
even know what team he plays for.
Yep, he's a Seahawk. The other one's Jake Bobo. We could do Jake Bobo. We could do Lockett and just literally lock up this full Seattle onslaught thingy. If you think that's too much, we could go to one of these other options, but I think we should go wide receiver here.
Lockett.
Okay.
I feel like it's a very similar bet, right? Where if Metcalf is succeeding and Gino is doing well, then we might as well just make a bet on the team as a whole.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think that's something that I've really embraced this year, where like last year I would be really caught up in like, for all these guys to get home in week 17, there's not enough points.
Yeah.
It's not, they're going to have to score 1,000,000 points. They're going to be bad weather in Chicago, slippery ass Soldier Field. Like who the hell is going to, score a bunch of points here? And then it's like, oh, we just condensed our decision-making tree like way too narrow. Right. And we gave ourselves way too thin a path in week 17 to have outlier scores. That's what I would have said in years past. This year, I'm just like, fuck it, embrace the volatility. Let's go all in on this. This is what you need. Draft like you're right, push all the way to the end with this, and just have outs to this game still pops off and they score 3 touchdowns, but it's in a way that you needed it from this combo opposed to that combo of the same game, and you covered all your bases with it.
Yeah, and I think the opportunity cost is fine as well. Like doing it with Tyreek and Waddle, that's kind of a harder sell for me. Um, unless obviously you need, like, obviously you're taking Tua with
Yeah.
that pairing, I think, and the hope is like it's like that Tua Ravens week 2 game from like 2022 or whenever that year was, whenever it was like one of the first games of the season, and Tua went off for like 50.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of what you're telling yourself. The opportunity cost here, I think, is fine.
Yeah, good shout on the opportunity cost narrative. There was one comment I wanted to scroll back to in the chat that I want to hit on in 1 second here, but maybe we should probably make our pick first. Ooh, Updog went to the Winter Classic in the big house. That'd be really cool.
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah, Winter Classic, kind of a cool experience. Just to be like outside in the cold, watching a game and stuff. They're pretty fun. Been to 2 myself.
I'd like to get there.
Yeah, I mean, like the vantage point, because like a rink is smaller than like a football game or whatever. It's like not amazing sometimes when you're like lower bowl trying to look through glass from far away. But if you're just, up there and you're out there for the vibes, hot chocolate in one hand, beer in the other, it's fun,
Hot chocolate and beer, baby.
Right.
Sign me up.
It's a lifestyle choice. I'm gonna flip back to ADP for you, Nez, here. Okay. Goddard and shut it down at tight end is kind of fun. It might be a little too much draft capital. Singletary at running back. Jacoby, a guy that we've talked about but haven't said. We could do a Wicks run back. Might be available in a second there.
I think I'm Jacoby.
Brown. Jacoby? All right.
Yeah, if you're asking me, I would probably go Jacoby here and get some points at wideout. Okay. And correlated with Zamir for what it's worth. I don't know if we can get we may be able to grab an interesting Saint there for that to really capitalize on 2 of those Raiders that we have too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not gonna say it. Not saying it out loud.
An interesting Saint. Brock Purdy goes there. Dallas Goddard.
Nope, never mind. There. He's gone. Sorry. I didn't see Shaheed at first when I said that, and he's obviously gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can leave the light on for 2 other ones in Kendre Miller and Jamal Williams there. Yeah,
Kendrick's getting a lot of love.
T-Bear's workshopping a take. Should we give him the platform for a second?
Here's
Workshopping
a
it.
take. Yeah,
He's workshopping.
throw it on the
What do you
screen.
think?
Throw
All
it on the
right.
screen.
All right. Terrence is workshopping a take that Algier is this year's Jamal Williams / David Montgomery with 10 plus touchdowns, where they use Bijan between the 20s. I would hate that so
Algier
much.
would be last year's Algier.
Yeah, that would be last year's Algier.
Because it didn't get the 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I rebuke it.
Yeah, I hope the coaching staff doesn't decide to do something like that, especially after some of the coach speak that we've heard from them is like, we want to get him the ball as much as possible, and they've likened his role to CMC and whatever. So I think that'd be like a pretty bad run out for Bijan drafters. Do I think it's within the realm of possibility? Yes. Do I think it's optimal, ideal, or going to happen? I'm not so sure. I do think he's a good enough player, though, that they don't just like X him out of rotation, even though it's a new coaching staff.
Right.
ADP, we got Corum, we got Wicks. That's how we prove that we know ball. Judy gives us backdoor stack. Eckler, what do you like?
I think I like Corum.
Oh, God, please no. Anyone else?
Your boy Eckler?
You like Eckler more than Wicks? All right. Let's do it. I don't want Corum. I'm out on Corum.
What's got you out on Corum?
I just don't think he's that great. I watched enough Michigan football. I watched the Natty last year. He wasn't even the best running back on his own team. I don't know. Like I think Kyron. I don't know. I think Kyron is better than, and they love him. I don't know. I like the glowing reviews he's gotten from camp. I know that they think he's a 1-for-1 replacement. I know that they want to.
He just feels like a McVay back. Feels like a smart back. They clearly values intelligence of his running backs, and it felt like a very intentional pick to me.
Yeah,
the way that they've talked about Kyron. Kyron's already got a health issue. I love the ceiling for Kyron. I've been drafting Corum past ADP. Just thinking that he has some standalone value and obviously like major contingent upside. And then the go ahead.
Is there any back that goes like this late that has a higher contingent upside than Blake Corum?
Yeah, I think so. If you go back, I think I forget who, I'd have to like see, but I thought there was somebody that had pretty high. I mean, Corum's is definitely like 101.
Hi, Chandler could be close.
Yeah, Chandler, Lloyd. Algier.
My problem with Lloyd is even if something happened to Josh Jacobs, they're still going to use AJ Dillon in short yardage. They're still going to use AJ Dillon at the goal line. Like that's my issue with Lloyd. Like
Marshawn Lloyd's going to outsnap Josh Jacobs this season, don't you know?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I did not know. I don't want to know that,
dude. That's the word on the street. That's the word on the street that Marshawn Lloyd is going to usurp Josh Jacobs.
I don't know.
Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
Me neither.
People forget, man.
It's cap.
Yeah, I am still a little sour about the Natty. You're right, Beastwerf. You're right.
Yes, it is, Chip. I mean, I'm not even just. I'm a truther for reality. And the reality is, you guys just just because these guys are rookie RBs, you just think they're just gonna la-di-da come in here and play. Like it's not. Things don't work out like that.
Nez, I think we should. I don't know. I'm torn right now. Let's see what we're working with here. Cousins, Deshaun. I think we're just kind of like mentally committed to like Geno being our second quarterback, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. This is we already have QB2 on this team already. He might as well be there.
Right. Yeah. We got a 1-4-5-1. I don't take a ton of Jerry Jeudy, but I think I want to take him right here unless you can convince me otherwise.
No, unless you're like a Leggett Bull, which I am not, other than the fact that he's just so goddamn funny.
No, his accent's amazing.
So good. Yeah, it's Judy, and I mean Judy. Listen, the outcomes are unknown.
Mhm.
Judy has burnt us like every year in the league, but he's a 12th round pick now.
Right.
He was
Yeah.
acquired by a team that went out and got him and then paid him. I think at this price, I think he's like, this is so like not true, but I'm going to use this word anyway. Like objectively a good pick at this price.
All right.
And
Yeah.
it's so gross. It's so gross, but I think it's a good pick.
Yeah. I kind of like it too, man. I feel like hashtag follow the money. They think they're going to be good this year. They think they're going to throw. They found success through the air last year, though it wasn't with Deshaun. Maybe Deshaun's shoulder a little bit more, whatever. Yeah. Sack says no, Judy, so he follows Sack. Yeah, I mean, like that checks out, man. Definitely seen some of that stuff too. I just like Judy has never been liked by the analytic community because he's never been like Matt Harmon basically shits all over Judy as a player like all the time, right? Like that
Yeah,
was
and he's cashing those checks,
yeah.
like those are that I mean, he's a 12th round pick now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's looking valid. But
not okay. I mean, people are jumping up and down to take him last year or was it last year or 2 years ago? And it's like, oh, Hackett's coming in, Russell Wilson's coming in, all these nationally televised game. This is going to be the team that finally challenges Mahomes in this division. And look at this. AFC West is going to be incredible. Jerry Jeudy steamed up to like the third or fourth round. Yeah, man, I don't know.
I guess for me too, it's like the rookies that go around him and even like Gabe Davis, like I think Judy's gonna match their numbers. Like I just think he just feels and you don't win money by playing it safe, but he does feel pretty safe to me, man.
I don't know if safe's the operative word there, but yeah. Okay. Fryermuth, Hawk. We could do the Hawk thing with Justin Jefferson. I don't know what your
We're
thoughts
gonna
are.
need
He
another
falls a
tight end.
lot. Yeah. Musgrave, now that we have the torn pec stuff with
I
Tucker
love
Kraft.
Musgrave or Burton would be my contribution.
Let's do Musgrave.
All right, cool.
Let's do another week 10 bye. Great. But at least it doesn't overlap with our tight end. But we got a whole bunch of wide receivers with week 10 there. We are going to be floundering.
I like the run back. I like the run back with JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I take a lot of Musgrave. I think Musgrave is awesome as a pick. Okay. I just in the back of my head, I just can't get that deep seam route out of my head from Jordan Love.
That's what Tyler and Tom brought up yesterday when I was on the Fantasy Sanctuary there, that they were just talking about how Tucker Kraft, even when he was playing more of the snaps and in the postseason and stuff like that he was low ADOT guy, right? Like he was literally safety blanket, blah, blah, blah. Whereas like Luke Musgrave was seams stretcher, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a couple things I want to hit in the chat. T-Bear asking, oh my God, I'm a mess. T-Bear asking, yeah, T-Bear asking, what's Judy good at? I would just say running fast. That would be like my one answer. Running fast.
I mean, he's earned, it's not like he's like Jameson Williams with target earning, or even Gabe Davis with target earning. Like he earned 100 targets 2 years ago, and I think last year, I'm not sure what his health was like last year, but didn't get to 100 targets last year. But obviously, things were a shit show in Denver. It just seems like
done enough Judy. Let's let Judy be. We can't become the Judy Bulls by going on and on with these Judy segments. We've said enough about.
You're the one that brought up the comment. You brought up.
I said let me rapid fire these, and then you went on a full soliloquy about Judy again. And I was like, all right, I don't want to be the Judy guys, man. We can't be the Judy guys.
Keep going.
Chip brought up a good point about the Judy. It's like when the football bros and the analytic bros hate you, it's probably bad. So they both don't like you there. Tyler, I wanted to hit on this. He said the Fryermuth for the KC run back. I think it's actually negative correlation, where if you want your tight end to be scoring in our KC bring back, that means Travis Kelce isn't scoring and Mahomes only is scoring. And we don't have any Mahomes pass catchers outside of Travis Kelce. So doing the bring back from the same game environment would actually be bad, in my opinion, on that one. And then there was a comment that I can no longer find that was way up there. Someone asked, who is also a member, Run Good Rick. There we go. Found it. What's our take on the draft assisting tools? And Nez was experimenting with it this morning. I watched Sack and Pat use it behind closed doors. I'm totally cool with it, man. I know I'm like the hardo protect the games bro. As long as it's not auto drafting for you where you don't have to sit there and make optimal decisions and it's kind of just like guiding. Is it exactly what I would want in the future of this? But like maybe not. Like maybe I would want like just like overlays and HUDs and stuff like that. But I'm entirely cool with it of presenting. They're effectively just presenting their ranks in a new innovative fashion that helps you draft faster. And the tool is only as good as its inputs. And that goes for whether you're using the leg up one, whether you're using the spike week one, whether you're using Brick's HUD, whatever else you choose to use. They're only as good as their inputs. So, I mean, I think it's just embracing the growth of this game. Nez, you had hands on deck with that one. What do you think?
Yeah, after we make this pick, I'll go on there. I don't know if you can draft Adam Thielen 2 teams in a row, but
can we?
We're looking at Geno soon. You could just do Geno, but
yeah, let's just do Geno here. I mean, he's such an intricate part of our team, and I don't really care about breaking the tie of our next picks and stuff. That like just taking Geno, it's like, yeah, whatever, man. It's 5 spots ahead of ADP.
Yeah. So I'm a leg up sub. So I have like a 5-day trial stress test.
Yeah,
they're
I'll try
calling
it
it
tonight.
to use the tool. And it's very nice. If you have like a wide monitor, you can throw it right beside the player pool. It stacks up very nicely there. It does have leg up rankings, so you are going to get like their preferred picks there. So if you don't like Greg Dortch, you're going to be a little bit annoyed because you're going to get a lot of Greg Dortch.
If you love Jerry Jeudy, you're never going to get him.
Yeah. So you are getting their recommendations in there. And they are going to constantly like update this and give it new features and whatnot. I drafted 4 puppies at once, and because I was also trying to do baseball at the same time, I did miss like a pick. But you can multi-table in a very, very efficient fashion with these. So if that's something that you are looking for, I can give that endorsement like very strongly. It's very easy to multi-table and like not have to think a lot. But when I'm drafting BBM, I would prefer to have nothing. I would prefer to just have my like what I know. I have week 17 memorized. I'd rather that just be straight from me. It kind of can like confuse my decision making and catch me off guard at times. But for multi-tabling, I very much enjoyed doing that.
Cool. Yeah, no, I love the growth of the industry and how people are building different tools now and stuff. It reminds me so much of the poker era stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I got one more thing to add here. Nez, Elijah Mitchell or Braylon Allen? I think that those feel like Braylon. Okay,
so much steam. He's gonna continue to rise.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, so I want to talk about the Chicago Spartan putting this one in here. It's like the tool that analyzes tendencies of your lobby's opponents is kind of wild. All the rest seems okay. I will say that the tool like he's referring to is Brick's Draft Caddy. It's drawing on publicly available historical data, and it's not doing it in real time. So I think the difference in that is it's pulling from BBM4, not pulling from your live tendencies in BBM5. Not that I would have a problem with that. I would just like think that distinction matters because like the biggest thing for me, and I've said this ad nauseum on our program before, is what is a study tool? What is a guiding tool? What is a data and information mining tool? And what is real-time assistance and bots drafting for you. And that's the distinction which we have to make between the two. So the initial tool that he made, that Brick made, that auto drafted for him, made all the picks. He didn't have to stand there. And it wasn't the one that's integrated in the site by just turning on Plane with rankings and setting bumpers up. That was banned by Underdog because of that reason. That was the stuff that was like closer to RTA, closer to real-time assist, like that sort of deal. That's the stuff that I'm not a fan of, like, and rightfully so. All this other stuff that's being built right now reminds me of Poker Tracker 3, Hold'em Manager 2. It reminds me of these things where it's like even the information that you're pulling is reliant upon the human who's sitting at their computer to dissect, utilize, and see if it matters. So, like, if Nez is being presented with the fact that, like, John tendencies from BBM4 are 5 wide receivers in the first 8 picks or something like this, he still has to make a conscious decision to decide what to do with that information, how to do, how do I combat against John's drafting style, right? I think that's the biggest caveat. Now, as soon as AI starts making that decision for you, we're fucked, right? Like that's the tipping point for me is the difference between AI and real-time assistance versus like just showcasing information and historical data.
Yep. Yeah. I very much respect your opinions and really love to hear what your thoughts are on this stuff since you have so much experience with it from poker. And I like that Underdog, that like Brick just came out and said, like, I have an auto drafting tool. And they're like, no, you can't do that against the terms of services. I don't know how or if can they tell? What I'm wondering is, can they tell if you have that? Like Brick came out, because he's, a very open guy and was like, hey, I have this.
Right.
And they're like, nope. But like, if somebody else did that, could they tell?
Yeah.
You can't have assistants in queuing up players. Do they have monitoring to track the mouse clicks and and all that stuff? That's what I don't know. Shout out McMillan, man.
We're back on the clock here. Do you like Luke McCaffrey? Do you like McMillan? I think we're probably good at 5 running backs. These feel like wide receiver picks. Which one do you like?
I'm slowly McMillan. I am I'm adding more and more McMillan to my portfolio now. He seems pretty interesting.
Are there any like targets for you that are jumping off the page? Maybe I'll recap the team real quick just to remind everyone. We're kind of bouncing around. 2-5-7-2 right now with Mahomes and Geno, Walker, Swift, Zamir, Eckler, Allen. Pretty solid. JJ, Debo, DK, Lockett, Myers, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen McMillan, Travis Kelce, Luke Musgrave.
I mean, the first 3 running wide receivers there, very, very strong. I like the players that we have after that. Obviously, like tight end is solid, QB is solid. I like the running back room. I like this team. I like this team quite a bit. I think we just keep pounding wide receiver and try to like grab ourselves some potential flex spots and some ceiling games down the stretch. And we got ourselves a pretty good team.
Yeah, I respect that. I like it. Yeah, 2 wide receivers then. That's what you feel?
I think so.
Okay. Is there any merit to adding a 3rd quarterback and or tight end to this? Like we could add Justin Fields. That feels super fun. Both as a one-off, although it does do the same thing as like Freiermuth in terms of like quote unquote week 17 negative correlation. But yeah, we could do.
When I have Mahomes and
CEH.
Kelce, like I don't add 3. That's just how you could.
What do you think about CEH or a wide receiver? Which do you prefer?
I would probably prefer wide receiver. I do like Zay Jones. But if you want to go CEH, like I'm not going to overrule you because we do have Mahomes.
Let's do it. Let's do it because we have Mahomes, because we only have one other pass catcher, 2 Mahomes, because we spent the capital on Kelce plus Mahomes. Let's double down on the bet we already made.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
This pick could be awful if Jerick McKinnon resigns.
That could hurt.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, so when you played poker,
yeah,
is there an obligation to let players know that these tools exist as a website? No? Okay.
nothing. Yeah, the only thing that sites have done in the past, like GG Poker, for instance, right now they've banned like all HUDs, so they have auto detect software that if I start using overlay software, they can auto detect it. But guys get around it and stuff. There's like because like those are external programs that exist on here, and then you collect like text based hand histories for every single hand you've ever played, and then you upload those into the thing. Now they're so good that they catch them in real time. So every one of those text files comes in and you're just auto updating your database as you go. So I can have like I can look at session stats versus you versus like yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Black Muddy River saying that GG's got their own HUD. It's fucking dog shit and it's not real. And as a former brand ambassador for GG Poker who no longer likes them, fuck them. Yeah, no, it's bad. And like their win total stuff incorporates like the rake. So like everyone's graph looks like they're winning and stuff, and they won't give you post-dated hand histories like back whatever. I could go on for hours and hours about how much money I've been cheated out of on GG because they have not shut down bot rings that were like clear bot rings over and over again. Like I know people who were running like rings and stuff, like scum of the earth people. It's crazy, man. Yeah. Other than that, how do you feel? Thank you, Jeff. Nez, last pick here. I think it's a wide receiver. You can convince me of any player on planet Earth, and we can scroll the F down for it as long as they don't have a week 10 bye.
Is Khalif Raymond there?
Khalif Raymond is there as a bring back off of our Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, and I think I love JMO, man, but call it whatever you want. Probably live to finish with more targets than JMO. It's definitely a possibility there. He's going to be there in wide receiver 3 sets, run back off of Deebo, and I think that game's going to be fire.
I like it. Yeah, that does feel like one of the big target games of the week there. All right. Blake's asking as an aging paying customer. All right, whatever, man. Yes, as one of our friends of the show, Blake would like a team sausage from you, Nez. Blake's
sausage.
Out of the sausage. From the 107, he took Bijan there. Let's let this.
Ooh, he took Bijan? How am I going to sauce this? What?
Yeah, right.
Like a million% Bijan.
Let me rename this one. This is a Badge Bro stream on June 18. There you go. All right. Here we go. We are going to go see Blake's team before we even see our own. Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Brooks, Jerome Ford, Zach Charbonnet. Oh, wow. Trey Sermon. Nice. Roshan Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Cooper Kupp, Hopkins, Watson, Shakir, Mike Dubb, Roman Wilson, Walker, Mark Andrews, Ben Sinnott. What do you think, Nez?
Blake, man, you could have done anything else with this team. But can you scroll down again? He's stacking. He thinks he's got Khalil Shakir, wide receiver 1 season. Yikes, buddy. Not sure about that. Cooper Kupp, have fun with those 3 weeks that he plays. DeAndre Hopkins catching balls from Will Levis. Yeah, right. Somebody else is doing that.
Running wind sprints.
Who else is on this team? Who's his other quarterback?
I would say, you know what you have to do, Nez? When you take Josh Allen as your QB1 and you get him at a falling discount, you know what you absolutely have to do next? You have to take Lamar Jackson's pass catchers. That's exactly what you have to do. You 100% have to take. If I could give one piece of advice, it would be make sure you take QB1, then think he's going to be QB1, but then bet against yourself by taking Mark Andrews and Walker. There you go.
And anytime you can get the fail son running back from San Francisco that's now on Indianapolis, leaves a system where running backs can't help but succeed in San Francisco and is now in Indianapolis. I mean, to round off this RB room where you start off with Bijan, I mean, John, do you pass up that opportunity or what?
Yeah, I could never.
Okay, I'm done. He asked for the sauce. He got the sauce. I think this team's decent.
There's one last one.
Oh, let me go back. Sauce mode.
Good luck scoring a score in week 14 with your tight end, pal.
You took a 0?
A 0. He just openly decided I'm going to have 0 points from my tight end.
He's going to get this draft tossed.
Yeah. Oh, all right, Blake. We love you, man. As we finished with a 2-6-8-2 for the audio listeners, Mahomes, Geno, Walker, Swift, White, Eckler, Allen, CEH, Justin Jefferson, Debo, DK, Lockett, Myers, Jerry Jeudy, McMillan, Khalif Raymond, Kelsey, Musgrave. What do you like?
Ooh, I like this team a lot, man. I think if you like what's the shakiest part about this team? Probably I guess the wide receivers. I mean, after Metcalf, like we do have some just like, it might be hard to find ceiling after that. But I mean, starting off with Jefferson, Debo, and Metcalf, I think is like a sick way to start a draft off. I like the RB room. We have Mahomes and Kelsey. Like, I mean, this looks pretty damn good, right? I mean, but what's the worst that you could say is that there's not enough week 17 here, I guess.
Yeah, and I still think there's a good amount. I think like the reason you would say there isn't is because we onslaughted Seattle. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's plenty of week 17.
I guess we got
plenty of
the Swift run back too.
Yeah.
I like this team a lot, man. This is fun. Well done.
Yeah, that's a good one. I do like this team. I mean, maybe in hindsight, like that Eckler versus Quorum 1v1, that was kind of just like a player take that I was like on the other side. Like, does Quorum do more for this team than Eckler? I don't know, but the both of those ones I can see bull cases for. Like Eckler, there was a comment earlier. Yeah, here, Eckler could be the guy you need. Like, would it surprise anybody that Austin Eckler, who is just like an absolute workout freak, who knows he had the worst season of his career last year, who knows he looked washed last year, who knows he was banged up for the last year and a half, just comes out here and just reminds everybody who the fuck Austin Eckler is?
It would not surprise me at all.
Not at all, man.
I'm king fade the age curve. So yeah. I'm here.
The older the better, baby.
These guys are gonna age more gracefully than people think.
Yeah. Modern medicine, dude. All right, Nez. Yeah, that was a fun one there. Really fun show. Did some baseball stuff. If you guys missed the baseball stuff for the daily slate, scroll back. We got another $6K up top in the main. We got $100. We got a double buy-in, $25. We got the app notifications fixed. We got the football stuff under the football tile on the site. We got new draft tools to check out and use if you happen to be a leg up subscriber. Just a great day for best ball and hanging out on Underdog Fantasy.
Well said, man. I mean, it's a great day to be on the app.
Yeah, damn straight. Best of luck to everybody in the streets tonight. If you're not playing on Underdog Fantasy, use promo code MLB at sign up. You get a 50% match deposit up to $500 USD, which means you will result in $250 in bonus cash on the platform. That's good for 10 BBM entries that you can draft alongside us over the course of the summer. Appreciate you, Meatwad. Appreciate the 200 and something that are still hanging out with us. Do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit that notification. We will be back tomorrow, even though there is no off and on the clock. We will just come back with a normal stream there for the people. Might be a paywall one, so if you're not a member, consider signing up for only $5, even though Chip no longer wants to.
We're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you in the streams, Chip. It is what it is, though, I guess.
All right. On behalf of Nez, I'm John. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.